Hi, everybody. We're going to be getting started in just a few minutes, so.
I know, it's good. How are you? Good to see you.
We're short, so we got to kind of get in where we fit in.
The run of show is
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. How are we doing today? Fantastic. It is wonderful to be here in the Morningside neighborhood with our partners. We have neighbors, we have the Neighborhood Association, lenders, realtors, funders, our program administrators, National Faith Home Buyers, the Ownership Initiative, City Council, Mayor, Biden administration. So we are so thrilled. So I just want to say that it's truly an honor. My name is Chelsea Neblett. I am the program director for the Housing Services Office within the City of Detroit's Housing and Revitalization Department. This administration has not wavered on affordable housing and homeownership initiatives. And we are truly proud of the work that we accomplished in round one of the Detroit Down Payment Assistance Program. And we are thrilled to announce round two, which will be open today. So without further ado, I will bring up the Honorable Mayor Mike Duggan to start us off with remarks.
All right. Well, thank you, Chelsea. And a lot of the people from this area know this was a street my father grew up on. My grandmother lived here for 60 years. This is my childhood memories are of 3 Mile Drive and Mac. And, of course, it was a beautiful neighborhood. When I got elected mayor, I would say 40% of the houses in Morningside were abandoned. Where you're sitting now, these were a bunch of far-gone houses. We had to demolish them. Mitch Albom and Say Detroit came in, put in this play equipment, then the city put the park in here. But 10 or 12 years ago, we were talking about the housing stock in Morningside being put to use as parks. We're not talking about that anymore. Now we're taking houses that have gone to be fixed up from rentals to home ownership, and we're going to expand that here today. And because of President Biden and the American Rescue Plan, we set up a program last year called Down Payment Assistance, and with the support of City Council, put $12 million into it and said to folks, you have to be of middle to lower income, and you have to have lived in Detroit for 1 year as a renter. But we want you to have a chance to own your own house. And there were a lot of people in this city who were paying $800 and $1,000 and $1,200 a month in rent and were unstable in their housing situation. And I'd sit with them and I'd say, you can buy a house, pay the taxes, pay the mortgage for less than you're doing, and you never have to worry about moving again. Except you got down payment, you got closing costs. And so with the help of Gary Torgo, the chair of Huntington Bank, who helped us design this, and a whole lot of folks up here, we said, what if we used the American Rescue Plan money and created a down payment assistance plan? Can we convert rentals to homeowners? Because this city, the city I grew up in, was a very proud community of homeowners. And so we put $12 million in. We didn't know what was going to happen. And it turns out that 434 people in a matter of months bought their home through this program. How's that? 15 houses in Morningside went from rental to home ownership. This is what we want to build. I don't want to say renters aren't welcome, but we all know the long-term stability in neighborhoods is much better the higher percentage of home ownership. I never thought that it would go that quickly, but now we said we're going to come back and do it again. But this time we want some help from the banks because the banks have been doing a great job, but it turned out we're helping these banks sell a lot of mortgages. And I said to the banks, how about you guys contribute? And so Gary Torgo and Huntington Bank, and then Flagstar Bank stepped up, Rocket Mortgage, the Hudson Weber Foundation, Wayne County all kicked in to help us for a new round, and it is open today. $7 million, another 300 renters in this city are going to become homeowners in the next 6 months, and you can go on the website and look at it right now. This is what we believe in. You know, the interesting thing about it is the 400 people who bought a house last year, 94% were African American. We are building black wealth. It is the people who stayed in this community that are benefiting from the home ownership in this community. And that's, I think, what most people in this town believe is the fair thing to do. Now, we have today a special guest. As you know by now, the city of Detroit has drawn a great deal of national attention for our various plans for the American Rescue Plan. And President Biden got Detroit $827 million. And unlike, right, isn't that great? A lot of cities in this country used it to fill holes in their general fund. But because the city of Detroit was well managed and council was supportive, we didn't have to put a nickel in. We said everything we're going to do is build to the future. We're going to do scholarships for our folks who are unemployed to learn new skills and get paid while they do it. We're going to fix up homes for 2,000 seniors. We're going to build new rec centers. We're going to redo parks, and we're going to build home ownership. That's what we're doing today. The person who's the head of the American Rescue Plan, a fellow by the name of Gene Sperling, is from Michigan. And he worked under the Obama administration. And when Detroit went into bankruptcy, he came down and said, I want to help. He was in these neighborhoods 10 and 11 years ago under President Obama. And so when he became the head of the American Rescue Plan, I said, this is good for Detroit. And he's made sure the rules have worked for us. But every time we have a big announcement, he flies in from Washington to see how Detroit is doing. So please welcome our partner now for more than 10 years, the head of the American Rescue Plan here from the White House, Gene Sperling.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. I was proud to initially lead the rescue effort, which we called a little after the bankruptcy to marshal $300 million and show then that the Obama-Biden administration had Detroit's back. I was proud to be on the auto task force before that. And I'm proud to be, born and raised in Michigan. I did grow up in Ann Arbor, but my younger brother, Rick Sperling, spent a lot of his life here as the founder and director of the Mosaic Youth Theater Group. So we are, my heart is here. There's no question. But that's not why I come back. I come back 3 times now because 3 different times there is something that Detroit under Mayor Duggan and the City Council has done with the American Rescue Plan that we thought were models for the country and specifically for what President Biden believes in. I went back and told everyone, interestingly enough, about the Joe Louis Parkway. And one of the things I told them was that we stopped and met with, a crowd of about this size. The mayor and I did and had a conversation. And it was pretty interesting. What we kept hearing was, now that things are cleared out, now that things are better, people kept telling me individually, I'm deciding to invest in my house. I never thought I'd be able to sell it for much, but now that this has happened, And I thought, wow, that was not what I expected to hear. That's what investment does. It does bring pride and investment. The mayor talked about the benefits of home ownership. Well, it did remind me of something economists like to say, which is, when was the last time you washed a rental car? So home ownership does mean a lot for neighborhoods. But what really made me want to be here today with this second round of this announcement is that this down payment program is a tremendous example of how the American Rescue Plan can be used innovatively. And, again, we did give cities discretion, and Detroit, from the start, was committed to using the funds, not just on ordinary things, but to do things like provide education, training education for people to find new jobs, get paid while they're going to school, to with Jumpstart, with the Joe Louis Freeway and Roosevelt Park. But this really, really strikes a chord for us, because this is not only a great example of how the American Rescue Plan under President Biden makes a difference in people's lives when you have real leadership like from the mayor, but it is also not just a model for the country, it is a model for what the president is proposing right now. In his State of the Union, he called for a national down payment program, a national program where nationwide people could get up to $25,000 for a down payment for a first-time home, or $15,000 over a couple of years if their obstacle was they needed to buy down their mortgage rate until mortgage rates come down. So it's one thing to talk about an idea. It's another thing for me to already have talked to a couple of people here who are who have a who now are homeowners. I will say, you work in Washington, American Rescue Plan was $1.9 trillion. There were 200 different programs. But when you see and hear, as you will, of somebody who now is a homeowner because of this, I get goosebumps. I really do. But I really want to say something about why President Biden, and I really do mean this, you might know that he has another engagement today. He apparently has something else he's doing. But I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, he would rather be here talking about the American Rescue Plan leading to down payment assistance. But I want to tell you that I have been in many just private conversations with the president, including as we have flown to events in the Oval Office where we have talked about this issue. This is a president who grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. This is a president who, as he likes to say, he gets when people are hurting, because when gas prices went up a nickel, it was a subject of conversation at his house. And he is someone who has never lost the view that core to the American dream is being able to own your home. We have opponents. It's sad to me to point out that none of this would be happening. Nobody would have this home if there had not been every single Democratic member of the Senate and Congress from Michigan voting for it. None of this would have happened. But what he talks about is, again, how core this is to the American dream. And what I wanted to say is, sometimes when people have tried to critique things we've done, They have used absurd arguments about work effort. We had the most historic child tax credit that cut child poverty in half, cut African American child poverty in half, but also gave breathing room and help to 40 million working families, over 60 million children across the country. And there are people out there who want to say, oh yeah, but if you gave them a little extra help during the pandemic with higher prices, you know, people are going to quit their jobs and sit on the couch playing Call of Duty. I mean, it is such an insulting and it's such an insulting and unjustified view of who the American people are. But how down payment, this is about families who are, you can't even make an argument like that. This is about families who are making rent every single month. Every single month they are working and meeting their most important obligation, their rent, even when it's a too high of a cost. And what keeps so many people from turning that into being a homeowner where they're gaining equity and they're building wealth? It's that they don't have that extra $25,000 sitting around. I mean, studies show that most Americans don't have $600 of extra cash. So that not having that down payment assistance can make the difference for decades of whether you're paying rent or whether you're building equity in your home. So this is huge. And, you know, I can remember during the campaign, President watching a show on the housing gap, racial housing gap and racial wealth gap, and getting off and his assistant calling me as he got off the Stairmaster to say, I want you to get the transcript of this. He was so focused on this issue, and the president knows, as someone who grew up in working families, most people don't build their wealth through their bond portfolio or their stock market investment. In fact, what we learned in the Great Recession was a national teaching moment. People's savings and wealth was through their home. But we've seen more as well. We've seen that it has a multi-generational impact, and I think this makes so much sense. It's not that my parents gave me lots of funds when I was young, but when I hit a moment where I was unemployed or when I hit a moment, they could back me up. I didn't have to go take a terrible job. I could wait. I could get back on my feet. What people say is that if either your parent or your grandparent owns a home, it provides a cushion for the family. And that cushion can make the difference in how people make it through. So it ends up affecting wealth. It ends up affecting whether parents and grandparents can help get a start for their kids and grandkids and whether they can be there for them in hard times. So, you know, I work for a president who believes in this deeply. And when I tell you, we had to meet somebody in a different state who had a down payment assistance program. And I think for him to see somebody who is owning their home because of legislation he passed, it just, inspires him. And again, we have a major national program that would make this for everyone. That is what is on the line. There are different agendas out there. So I am really, really thrilled to be here again, to once again make clear the difference that President's American Rescue Plan has made. I believe in multiple investments that benefit this community, to show the leadership and innovation of Mayor Duggan and your city council as being national leaders and creating national models, but also to highlight why we need to make this a national program so that all of the benefits you're going to hear about today are available for all the hardworking families in our country who are doing everything right, who are working hard, caring for their children, caring for their older loved ones, contributing to their community, and just need that down payment help to become a homeowner and take another step in the American dream. So thank you very, very much.
All right, so the 400 people who got their mortgage last year, you know what the average mortgage was? $930. That's who this is for. This is for people paying $800, $1,000, $1,200 a month in rent, becoming homeowners. And at this point, I want to bring up the members of Detroit City Council who have been very supportive. And I'm going to ask each of them to speak, which may be unusual, but how many of you remember the days when the mayor and the council used to fight with each other all the time, right? This is kind of a different thing. But there are places in America they can't get the American Rescue Plan money spent because the mayor and council are fighting. There are a lot of cities in America with lots of tents and homeless encampments. You don't have that in Detroit because the mayor and council have been united the last 10 years in building $1 billion in new affordable housing. So the fact is, we are having this announcement because the mayor and the council work together, and I want each of them to speak, and I'm going to follow the proper protocol, if I have it right, and introduce the council member who lives a few blocks away, your council member from District 4, Letitia Johnson.
Hello, everyone. So I came up a little late because Member Durhall and I were coming from committee, but I thought this was going to be a party, right? We are here to celebrate. This is absolutely amazing. Everyone who knows me knows that home ownership, affordable home ownership, is one of my #1 priorities. And when when I got into office, I remember Member Benson saying, we all have great ideas. Sometimes one of us gets to the mayor before the other. But I know that my colleagues and I all agree on providing support for affordable housing, and this down payment assistance program has been absolutely transformational to residents in the city of Detroit for 430 households. That equates to thousands of neighbors and hundreds of neighborhoods throughout the city of Detroit. So it takes one family to really help stabilize our neighborhoods. And I couldn't be more proud of this program to see the amazing success from the first phase, and then, Mr. Mayor, and to all of the banks, all of the partners, Ms. Harris, I know we work very closely with her and her office and all of the work that they did to make sure that the families were able to get their applications in, and going back and forth and getting all of the information to be able to apply for this program, because so many people were looking to apply. We had limited resources, but the mayor said, okay, we need to have a phase 2 of this program because it was so amazingly successful, and I think that deserves a round of applause within itself. So I just want to say thank you to all of the partners that are here. Thank you to the community organizations, because I know a lot of times those of us in community are trying to make sure we maintain houses that are vacant in our neighborhoods. So thank you all so much for holding things down and preparing the neighborhood and these houses for revitalization. But of course, we couldn't have done this without the President and the American Rescue Plan Act. And I just hope that this is a program that we can continue to support because it is so transformative. So thank you all so much. And now I'd like to bring my colleague, Member Waters, up, because Member Waters is the person who said to the mayor, we need to do something about affordable housing. And she brought so many people in to have this conversation. And sometimes, you all know, Member Waters doesn't say a lot because she is the quiet storm, but she is always there fighting on our behalf and making sure that we have programs that help to support residents in the community. Member Waters, come on up.
Oh, thank you so much, Member Johnson. I am thrilled to be here in D4. Let me just say thank you to President Biden. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you for the partnership. I do. We really appreciate it. Member Johnson, you know that you came to the table and says, I want down payment assistance. But all of us work together to make this happen. And so I am thrilled that all of you are here. I want to thank all of our partners that are here with us today who has been helping us to get it done. Generational wealth. Yes, that's what we want to do. Make sure that we bring this city, and we're getting there, aren't we? It is on its way back, home ownership, all of those wonderful things that to help keep this city going. I'm just going to share a couple of personal stories. You know, I was at a garage one day, and this lady was telling me about her kids who had purchased a home, their first home. They're like 19 years old, 20, 21, and she talked about the down payment assistance program. I mean, and it was right here, all three of them, Member Johnson, right here in District 4. And then one day I was on social media. A former student of mine, I saw him bragging about his first new home and that kind of thing. You know, he's about 20 now. And so I decided to inbox him. And I said, did you take advantage of the down payment assistance? And he says, yes, I did. Those are the kinds of stories that you want to hear. I was excited to hear that. And today, when I first arrived, I met some of the new homeowners here in District 4 that you will hear from later. But I want to give a shout out to a very special homeowner who's going to have a place to play. Malia, hold her up, let everybody see her. That's what this is all about, you guys. Little Malia, congratulations to all of the new homeowners. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. It is an honor to be here. What a great day it is to be able to gift residents in Detroit the opportunity to be homeowners. And I am so honored as a council member to be able to support this program. And I join with my colleagues really just to say thank you. Thank you to all of our partners, to Gary, who I know is here, who's been there from day one, who is helping with us expand to phase 2. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership in this area of housing. And of course, thank you to the Biden administration for the ARPA funding. We're talking about one program today, but there has been various programs throughout the city of Detroit that ARPA has funded that has really impacted the lives of everyday Detroiters. So let's, again, give the Biden administration a round of applause, because they truly have directly impacted the quality of life here in our great city. I also want to give a huge shout out to Councilmember Johnson. Let's give her another round of applause. Councilmember Waters, Councilmember Callaway, who is not here, and Councilmember Santiago Ramiro, the woman on the city council who really pushed for affordable housing and for this package to be done. And of course, all of our council members here supported. I just will say this, at one point in time, Detroit had the highest rate of home ownership in the country. And I truly believe that with the work of my colleagues and I, the mayor and the Biden administration, we are slowly trending, or not slowly, but we are trending back in that direction. And that deserves a round of applause, because that is what Detroit is about. We've heard already about the benefits of home ownership, the generational wealth that it creates, the financial freedom. But at the heart, for me, what matters most is the ability to really create safe, vibrant, walkable, connected communities and neighborhoods. At the core of it, when people own their homes, they take pride in their community. Block clubs are formed. I've seen it firsthand. And so I think that is at the heart of what Detroit is all about. So I wanted to mention one part of the program that has not been mentioned, and that is for those who are overassessed. Which affected a lot of people in Detroit. And so if you were overassessed between the years of 2009 and 2016 and lost your home, you actually have preference in this program to receive down assistance support. So thank you. I think that deserves a round of applause because Detroiters have been advocating and we are letting them know that their voice is heard. So congratulations to everyone who is a part of this. I am looking forward to round 2 to continue to touch the lives of Detroiters all over the city of Detroit. So with that being said, Comey Young just gave me the so I think it's time for him to come on up. Councilmember Young, at-large member.
No, I would never do that to you. Let's give a round of applause, matter of fact, to President Sheffield on all leadership that she's done for making this happen. I also want to say, let's also say thank you to the mayor and his incredible leadership that he has done with this. And I also want to say thank you to the coordinator in the White House for the American Rescue Plan. And from my understanding, the only person to be the National Economic Advisor for 2 presidents. Let's give us you got no more than Bubba and Duh to do that. Let's give a special round of applause to Gene Sperling, everybody. And I just wanted to say to Huntington Bank and to Gary Torgo, every time you see Gary Torgo, you know change is getting ready to happen for the better. You know, there's a great line that says that there are those of them that take from you. Those are the bad ones. There are those that take for themselves. Those are the good ones. But there are those who give to everyone else, and those are the great ones. And we love Gary Torgo because Gary Torgo is great. So I'm going to stick to the 3 B's here. I'm going to be brief. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be standing over there. So I just wanted to say this is proof that the American dream is a reality in the city of Detroit. The fact that we have home ownership for people who maybe lost their homes due to overtaxation or to overassessments my colleague just articulately put forth, for people who have been trying to be homeowners and couldn't get it or didn't have the money to be able to do so, for people who just lost hope and lost faith, to have this opportunity to do this, not just for Detroiters who are coming in, but also for Detroiters who stayed. This is truly why we are all here to serve, because we are holding on to and upholding that principle that power is only important as an instrument to serve the powerless with. And so I just wanted to say it is my tremendous honor and privilege to be here. You have no idea to the new homeowners what you are doing here, because this is more than just what you're getting. You are inspiring Detroiters here now and for generations to come. That they just do the right thing, they play by the rules, and they work hard. They too can become homeowners. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to say this in conclusion. There's a great quote that says, "You exist temporarily through what you take, but you live forever through what you give." And what you are giving to the citizens of Detroit today by being new homeowners will live for eternity and inspire the generations beyond you. So thank you, appreciate you, God bless you. Thank you for your time, everybody.
Good afternoon. I am happy to be here in District 4. I hate going after Councilmember Young. I don't have all the quotes, but he lays the foundation. I just want to say that we would not be here today, and make no mistake, we will not be here today without the leadership of President Joe Biden. Folks have to understand that. We've had many presidents, but if you look at the imprint that President Joe Biden has made on the city of Detroit by coming here, by working to invest in our residents and putting ARPA funding here to fund many programs, but most importantly, the vital programs that help our residents, no one compares. I want to give special thanks to the mayor on his leadership as well as the entire council. some of the Furious Four who were mentioned, who are just extreme advocates. Member Johnson, who I have the pleasure with sitting with on the Planning and Economic Development Standing Committee, she always talks about repopulating our neighborhoods, but giving folks a fair opportunity to be able to do so. So I want to thank her in her district for her leadership and all that she has done as well. Shout out to Ms. Dina Harris. I have had the pleasure of working with her prior to being on council. I worked for the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. And when I tell you there's no better sister than Ms. Dina Harris, who is ensuring that folks get into homes, I truly mean that. So thank you. Mr. Gary Turgo, who is always there for our residents. Huntington Bank is always there. And let me tell you why that is particularly important. One of the reasons why down payment assistance is needed is because many of our residents have barriers that exist when it comes to becoming homeowners. And one of the biggest barriers that exists is access to capital. So this down payment assistance program allows our residents to get up to $25,000 and go into a bank with confidence. They can go into a bank with confidence, knowing and understanding they just won't be turned away, but they have somewhere to start. When we talk about generational wealth, and really what that means, as a father or two, I can tell you the number one question you ask yourself is, what will I have to leave my children? What the best thing is that we could leave our children is a place, is a home that we can call home, that we can call a family home. So I am so excited for this program. I am excited. Hopefully we have another phase coming after this because it is extremely important to pushing Detroit forward, rebuilding our neighborhoods here, and ensuring that our residents have opportunity and the access to generational wealth. God bless you all, and thank you all for being here too.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Housing and Revitalization Department, we truly appreciate our partnership with City Council, so thank you. In continuing with the theme of collaboration, it is my honor to bring up Hassan Sheikh from the Wayne County Executive's Office. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's get a little liveliness, as Councilwoman Sheffield said. This is a party, right? Or Councilwoman Jensen. It's a party. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of our county executive, Mr. Warren C. Evans, collaboration is such a beautiful thing. Look at the beautiful things we can do when we work together. When the city of Detroit comes together with the county, coming together with Mr. Torgo at Huntington Bank, coming together with all these private-public collaborative pieces, we can do some great things and make some real impact in folks' lives. It's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Our county executive states this at every staff meeting and every interaction. He always reminds us it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. Well, this is the right time, and this project is the right thing. What is this project going to do? This down payment assistance program is going to increase homeownership rates. It's going to overcome initial barriers to capital, build equity amongst the community, provide economic stability and growth, stimulating our economy, but also driving community investment. It's going to reduce housing instability. It's going to prevent evictions and provide long-term security. The social benefits, you can count them all off. Community cohesion, improved health and mental health for knowing that you have a stable home, but also the educational outcomes. We know the correlation that's there between having a stable home, capital, savings, and academic performance amongst children. Addressing wealth disparities, closing the wealth gap, and financial inclusion. Not to mention that if you qualify for this program, you are then qualified for other resources that include financial literacy courses, home maintenance and workshops. And the importance of this is if you get financial literacy courses, you're set up for long-term financial success. So when you take that $25,000, the maximum that you're able to get from this program, you're then able to take that $25,000 you're able to now save up in your bank account and make that mean something to create generational wealth for your children, for their children. That's how it starts. Our CEO's vision, our county executive's vision is for an inclusive and equitable Wayne County. This program is a great example of just that. I want to thank the leadership of everyone here that's helped provide the opportunity and the pathway to make this a possibility. And Wayne County is proud to be a partner in this. We are excited and look forward to this program helping families get into houses, but more importantly, call the city of Detroit and Wayne County home. And with that, we're looking forward to this phase rolling out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now it is my distinct honor to bring up Gary Torgo, who is the chairman of the board of directors for Huntington Bank and one of the biggest supporters of Detroit Down Payment Assistance.
So thank you very much. There is no question that we have the best mayor in America and the best city council in America. So first, I want to thank Krista, I want to thank Chelsea, I want to thank Dina, I want to thank Hassan, I want to thank Donald Rensher, and I want to thank Eileen, who's here from Rocket with us, and I think Comerica is here. We're grateful to all of you for joining in the assistance to be able to help, and of course, President Biden. I know where I'm going to be at 9 o'clock tonight. It's in front of my TV set, cheering on the President of the United States. This really started for Huntington Bank and my partner, our CEO, Steve Steinauer, quite a number of years ago when the mayor of Detroit, just as he had been elected, called and said, okay, you want to be Detroit's hometown bank, here's what you got to do. You got to concentrate on neighborhoods and home ownership. And he took me in his car and he drove me to a neighborhood in Detroit. And he said, I want you to look at this neighborhood and I want you to provide down payment assistance for every home that's for sale here. And we said, okay, we'll do it. Now, first of all, the most scary part about that was driving in the mayor's car with him. But he said, this is where we start. And then he created the Strategic Neighborhood Fund, which created huge amounts of opportunity for 7 great neighborhoods in Detroit. And for us, it has been a tremendous privilege to be able to be a small part of this tremendous enterprise. I listened to our council president, Mary, and the work that she has done, the council people that are here, Fred Durhall and Letitia Johnson and Coleman Young and Mary Waters, and the rest of them who aren't here. They really have dedicated themselves to being terrific partners with the Biden administration and most importantly with the mayor of Detroit. And what he is saying is 100% true. We've never seen the camaraderie, and that camaraderie is building Detroit. So on behalf of Huntington Bank, we're thrilled to be a small part of this. We're thrilled to be here today. We are so thrilled to be partners with all of you. We love the home ownership. And I'll just close by telling you in the first round that the mayor asked us to be involved in, I went to the first closing. I walked into the room and I asked the young woman who was buying a house with the down payment assistance. And I said, why are you buying this house and why are you in the program? And she said, I'm buying the house that is directly next door to my mom and dad where I grew up, and I dreamed of always living next door to them, and without the down payment assistance, I couldn't have done it. And she's a homeowner in Detroit. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Gary. So we've talked a lot about the success of Round 1, which would not be possible without the founder and president of National Faith Homebuyers, Ms. Dina Harris, the administrator of the Detroit DPA program.
Of course, short people, right? Thank you. First of all, you know, I have to give honor and thanks to this powerful mayor and city council because I'm going to speak from my heart. If anybody knows me, I do. I didn't bring a speech, but I'm going to keep it within a minute, Mr. Mayor. Right? Okay, what we did, it wasn't easy. Okay, it was not an easy process. Processing 434 families was not easy. The only reason we got it done was because we worked as a team. Okay, the city, Chelsea, Krista Pate, we sat down, our bank partners, Gary Torgo, everybody in this area made a difference. And you know, I'm so honored when people recognize that the work we've done, that I've done, but I have to recognize the team that really does the work, and I just get the glory, right? And so I just want the National Faith team to wave and stand up and wave. those are the people that processed 434 families in partnership with Anthony Smith from the city of Detroit. Okay, so when you think it looks easy, it's not, but it was a passion. It was a service of love. Okay, I loved it. I hope the families enjoyed it, and we hope that we'll continue to help the families in Detroit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dina. Part of the success was the program design, and so I am pleased to bring up Ms. Krista Pate, CEO of the Ownership Initiative.
I am so thankful to the mayor and city council for allowing me and trusting me to build out this program with all the partners in the private sector, including Gary Torgo and Huntington Bank and all the other 12 other banks that participated in the launch of this program last year. My role really is to help move millions of dollars into community. I'm a native Detroiter, and I do this all over the country, but my hometown is a very special place with very tough challenges. And so when this program came about, I knew that it was going to be a very big responsibility to bring everyone together, because it truly does take a village to solve some of Detroit's problems. And everyone was really, really committed to making that happen. But sometimes we forget to thank those who are in the community working. We have something here called the community development industry, and it contains hundreds and hundreds of organizations who are all working alongside the government, the Biden administration, city council, the mayor, as well as our lenders to make things happen in Detroit. And so a part of that are our Detroit Housing Network. We have a network of housing counseling agencies that educated these 434 families and more, those who are waiting to get access to this program. We also had realtors involved and realtists. If you don't know the difference, Google it, but there is a difference. And our real estate professionals trusted us and came out to a training where we trained over 250 realtors last year on the down payment assistance program, and they truly went out and sold Detroit. We asked those realtors to not only sell one house, but sell two houses. And we started with $6 million last year, and we asked the realtors, if you could just sell two, we could probably allocate $12 million from the Biden administration, and surely they went out to sell that. And so I want to thank the leaders from the real estate community that helped me gather all of those folks in a room. Joy Santiago Clark from Dwell Detroit, Dorian Harvey from Team Harvey USA, and Reginald Perryman of Keller Williams Detroit. They really truly helped bring everything together for us to sell Detroit. And so with that, I just want to say that oftentimes we think about Detroit and we forget about those who are the engine to make things go. And so my only speech is to empower others and then to empower our leaders to help move millions into community. And I'm just so thankful that with that, the mayor said the banks did a lot last year, but specifically they lent over $40 million to Detroiters. And so that is just a big feat. They say that can't be done around the country, but you heard today that the Biden administration wants to see this done in every city in America. And so thank you all to my fellow Detroiters, my fellow community development workers, to the mayor, to city council, to the Biden administration, to the banks, to the realtors, and to the housing counselors that made this program happen.
We have a lot of people to thank for the success. Thank you, Krista. And so maybe my most favorite part of our press conferences is I have the honor to bring up Mimi Trent, who is a homebuyer counselor with Central Detroit Christian CDC, which is a part of the Detroit Housing Network that Krista just mentioned, as well as two new homeowners who participated and received Detroit down payment assistance in round one. That is Megan and Micah Williams and Satin Adams. So I'm going to bring them up together.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was in absolute shock when I found out that I was invited here. And Miss Lisa, she said, you know you have to speak right. She was trying to scare me, but I already have it together, Miss Lisa. So my name is Jamila Trent, also known as Mimi, and I am a HUD certified housing counselor with Central Detroit Christian, where our executive director, and she's here today, Miss Lisa Johannan, she's here, and we are also a Detroit Housing Network member. I want to thank you all for inviting me to this important event. And it is such an honor and privilege to be just surrounded by distinguished individuals, community advocates and leaders, guests, and organizations that believe in the importance of home ownership. One of those organizations, there are a lot here, and as I stated earlier, we are a part of the Detroit Housing Network, where their motto is "Keep Detroiters in their home." And this phrase speaks volumes because the organization purposefully provided a networking roadmap to those, such as Central Detroit Christian, to assist those who need support when it comes to financial education, wills and trust and estate planning, and home buyer education, along with so much more. And home buyer education, it is essential, it is very essential for those who are in the process of buying a home, because research shows that those who received or attended home ownership counseling and received counseling as well, they were more financially prepared, their credit score improved, and some avoided major pitfalls. In addition, the home buyer will find out that there are various programs that are out there to assist them in owning a home, such as this wonderful program today. And purchasing a home is one of the largest investments that some people will make. So it is very important that we empower people and give them the necessary tools that they need to become a homeowner. So I had the pleasure of assisting 2 of the 3 down payment assistance recipients on their path to home ownership. Not only did they attend the pre-purchase class and receive counseling, and the counseling that I facilitated at Central Detroit Christian, they also applied for and received assistance from the Detroit Down Payment Assistance Program. I am going to move out the way and let them tell you their story. But now at this time, I would like to introduce you all to the Williams family, Mega and Michael Williams, along with their beautiful baby, Malia. But the first person that we're going to have up is Miss Satin Adams. Thank you all so much.
Hello, everyone. I just found out that I was speaking yesterday. I tried to get out of it. I'm like, I've never spoken to anything like this before. She was like, well, we just want to know about your experience. I'm like, okay, fine, I can do that. So I used to reside in a subsidized community. If you are familiar with it, it's called Martin Luther King Homes. It's close to downtown Detroit. It served its purpose. At some point, I was like, I'm ready to move. My kids need a yard. I'm a mother of 6. I'm like, I need a yard. I need a backyard, you know. So I went through a lot of different things. I ended up with Habitat for Humanity. They helped me. Shannon Bonesteel. She helped me apply for DPA assistance, and I was approved for the whole 25, y'all. So it's really not. It's no words that, you know, I can. It's no words that I can say to make you all feel how I feel, you know. But I'm happy. I'm happy. You know, I'm 32. This is great for me. My mom never bought a home. So my mom never bought a home. My siblings never bought a home. So this is great for me. I want to say thank you to everyone who had a hand in it, even everyone that's just here today. You know, they give a little bit of a care. Like, I want to say thank you to everybody, okay? Everybody. And I'm going to end it here. You all have a great day. And congratulations to you all as well, 'cause it was not easy, okay?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael Williams. This is my wife, Megan, and our beautiful little girl, Malia. Say hi. So, man, I don't even know where to start. So, we were living in Casimir Apartments in New Center, right? And we were there for about 2.5 years, and we both work in youth ministry in the city. If you know anything about youth ministry, you don't get a lot of money, right? And so we are in this position where we are constantly giving, and giving. And it was so breathtaking to find out that there was a program that wanted to give and help us, right? And so here we get to move into this house this past February. And the second that we moved into this house, Malia started crawling on the ground. So just a couple days ago, she started walking in the basement and everything, right? This has completely changed just our outlook of how we can love our neighbors, how we can love our city, right? We get to live in the neighborhood where we get to serve our students at, right? It is absolutely, we were on a walk yesterday and saw our girls doing TikToks on the front porch and everything. It is incredible, but we went from a place where we were living in this apartment to just living in a place to now we get to have a place that we get to call home and do life in. And we've been able to have, we've been able to have over 100 different people in our home for dinner. Megan been cooking. She been going crazy. Malia been playing with everybody, asking for more bubbles every time. Y'all are all invited. All right, so we're on Euclid. We've been able to live, laugh, and pray with our neighbors. We love it. We praise God. And we thank you, National Faith, for all the work that you've been doing.
All right. Well, thank you all. That concludes our down payment assistance press conference. Thank you for coming.